Tricep.
Calling you
Neck,
bionic
lower
man.
back.
For live?
I haven't
Okay.
had it yet.
We've been giving people that were trapped.
Okay, great. Okay, thank you.
Tell you what, it's after 9 o'clock. Let's go ahead and get started because I think Randy's he's gonna keep it short and brief and everything, but we've got a lot to cover, so. Do we have any minutes and reports?
We do. We have February 2015 clerk's fees report and also the recorder's February 2015 report.
Okay. Commissioner Committee Liaison Reports.
Hold on, catching up.
Got a salute meeting tomorrow. A commission meeting tomorrow.
Yeah, we got a long-range planning.
MAC board meeting tomorrow.
Thursday, we get to go eat breakfast with Sean over at the,
Cole County Communities.
communities. 6:45, we keep moving it earlier.
No, we're starting the meeting at 7. Get
Okay.
there at 6:45 if you want to eat. We gotta start at 7.
Okay, yeah. Tell Sean.
Culture's in charge.
Well, we usually start like at 7:30 because everybody's got to eat and talk about everything.
Vitae lunch.
All the retired people, they don't have anywhere they got to be. So
There's a Vitae lunch
Can't wait to
Thursday.
be
Tower
retired.
Okay.
Plaza. That's all I got.
You got anything else, Jeff?
got Cole County Extension meeting Thursday night, Wardsville Lions Club. Eastside Business Association is Friday, and Westside this week too. It's tomorrow morning. You remember Westside?
Nope.
You need to join so that you can get scholarships for your kids. You're gonna need those in a few years.
Oh, yeah. They're gonna pay for their own.
Let me know how that goes. I'm having that discussion right now. Nice
There,
Columbus.
there
Peace
isn't a
Bible
discussion. There's the problem.
Wardsville. Do they have a mom? Because about that time is when your vote stops counting.
It's true.
Okay, we better move on. I'm gonna digress.
Okay. Presentation from staff, consultants, and invited guests, and I think, Randy, you're our invited guest.
Seems like I'm always hiding behind this.
I know, you look better though.
Yeah. You want me to stand back there while Good morning. We're here to present the 2014 Economic Development Annual Report. I have with me Missy Bono, who is Director of Economic Development. You all know her, and Sean Sappenfield, who is the existing business manager for the Chamber. And also here today is Lana Trammell and Jeremy Winiger. They're on our executive committee for the Chamber. Here is just interested participants in the meeting. So you have, I think, Missy, did you hand them out?
Greg Bexton may be joining us late as well.
Thank you for the warning.
So you can follow along on paper. Give a copy to Debbie.
Thank you.
The two ladies here. Okay. So we'll do a tag team here this morning on this presentation, and if you want to stop us at any point in time, you can and ask questions. This is the agenda. Everyone but Sam has seen these before, and it's pretty consistent in terms of the agenda, but we'll go through the activities, then we'll talk a little bit about return on investment, the update on that, and then talk a little bit about 2015 ED activities. By the way, we gave this presentation to the City Council last night, so. For the 2014, this is the breakdown of expenses in the Chamber's operating budget for economic development and Chamber spending. You'll see it's a split of 60-40. We spent about $555,000 on economic development last year. This is a further breakdown of that information. There's the two numbers that you just saw right here. And the biggest cost in the Chamber, obviously, and at most every organization, is personnel expense. And you can see we track that by our activities. We actually have weekly timesheets that do a lot of administrative work, but it also tracks our activities, and those are assigned to economic development or chamber. In addition to that, you'll see we have separate economic development expenses listed, separate community development expenses, and then our operating expenses are pro rata assigned based upon this percentage here. And then obviously special committee expenses and membership expenses are both chamber. So that's how we achieve the final total that you saw on the first slide. Seems like in the past, everybody's been interested in the individual personnel and what percentage of time they spend on both either chamber or economic development. There's been a misnomer in the past that we have people assigned to economic development and people assigned to chamber. That's a very inefficient model, and so this, because we track the time that we spend on these activities, we can split it. So you can see there is no one person in the chamber organization that spends 100% of their time on one or the other. Obviously, the people that you know that are here tonight, Missy and Sean, spend 94% and 88% of their time on economic development. So this is a breakdown of how the sources and uses of funds that the chamber has. On this side, which is the income, we get $185,000 from the city on our economic development contract, $150,000 from the county, and then last year we allocated $60,000 from the 21st Century entity, which is a wholly owned subsidiary of the chamber. You'll hear more about that entity later in the presentation. So that's the base level of funding for economic development, which is $395,000. In addition to that, last year we spent another $160,000 in economic development, which brings the total to $555,000. So that money, that additional money, comes from two sources: chamber events and miscellaneous income, and chamber membership dues, our membership. So it's a misnomer. Maybe you've seen something in the paper from time to time from one of my favorite people, Jeff, you don't have to write that down, who keeps saying that we spend city and county money on parties. And that's not true at all. In fact, we spend money from parties on economic development. So that's the 2014 look at sources and uses of funds. I'll turn it over to Missy to talk about business attraction.
All right. So this is actually the 8th year, which time flies, but that we have been presenting, and we have our program in place for economic development. So you can see the number of projects down here. This year we received 28, or have worked 28 projects. Of those 28 projects, 11 of them turned into an RFP, which a RFP can be very extensive, and sometimes the RFP takes many hours. We have this kind of down to a science now as far as filling out that information for companies and consultants. But we worked on 11 of those. We had 3 site visits this year, and we had 1 announcement. So you can just kind of see how that's compared to years past. I warned you that Greg might be here later. So 2 projects I want to talk about that we had site visits on this year. Project Osaka. Every project has a code name, so 99% of the projects want to remain confidential, and that's their way of remaining confidential by having these code names. So Project Osaka, we received this project on July the 7th, this past summer, a Japanese-owned manufacturer. They were going to start with 200 employees, and at full build-out be at 1,200. The average wage was going to be $24 to $25 per hour. They were going to build a 1 million square feet manufacturing building initially, and then add $500,000 for warehouse, and then an additional $500,000 for manufacturing. So total, this was going to be about 2 million square feet under roof. Very, very large. 70 to 100 million in capital investment, and the proposed site, which I'll show you on the map, was a Partnership Business Park Lot 2. As I said, we received the project on July 7th. We received a site visit on July 21st. So within 2 weeks, they were here looking at our community. Our competition was Indiana, Illinois, Kansas, and in Missouri, they had 11 communities that they were considering. So probably about 40 communities in all they were taking a look at. And ultimately, Jefferson City was eliminated due to the cost of improvements to the site. When they got to the site and actually saw it, they wanted more highway visibility, which this site did not have. But they are still considering Lee Summit in Missouri. So the site that we proposed to them, this is Command Web. This is a site that we market quite frequently that we affectionately call the bowl because it's shaped in a bowl. It has nice, this is a kind of a rock cliff wall, so it has kind of nice insulation, but there is a 161 kV line and the rail runs right here. So it's a very, very nice site for a large user. But the problem with it is it has little infrastructure to it. All the infrastructure is right here at the corner. We would need to put in a bridge, a road, and extend all the infrastructure, and that's going to be a very costly endeavor. The second project I want to talk about is Project Aluminum. We received this project in April, and this one was actually unique in the fact that they actually disclosed the name of the company, and that is very, very rare. This is a company that was headquartered in China, pronounced Yichou, and they were an aluminum scrap and aluminum recycling separation plant. 233 jobs initially. When they came to us, and one of the things I wanted to point out about this particular project, you never know about these projects that come to you. When they initially came to us, they said 70 jobs, $5 million investment. By the time they got here and we really started working with them, they increased the jobs to 233 and the investment from 5 to 51. So again, you just never really know the process that these projects go through. But they were looking for 75,000 square feet with an additional 30 acres for the smelting plant. So we submitted the chamber spec building, which is 50,000 square feet that can be expanded to 100,000 square feet. And then the land options that we provided to them, we had a 73-acre site right across the street from the spec building that's owned by a private owner. And then option B, which was a 80-acre certified site that is owned by the chamber. So they came to us 3 months after we started working with them, July 30th. July was a busy month for us as far as site visits. They were looking at Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, and then 7 communities in Missouri. So we ended up, after the site visit, a couple weeks after the site visit, we got eliminated due to the cost of finishing out our spec building to their specs, and then the lack of land. They really wanted a building and land all together on one parcel, and we were unable to provide that to them. So they were looking at Kentucky, well, they're down to Kentucky, Missouri, Tennessee, and Alabama. Kentucky had the #1 site. Missouri actually had the #2 site, which was Fulton, Missouri. And as of February 1st, we recently learned that Fulton was eliminated too. So again, the sites that we proposed, the spec building, the 70-plus acres across the street, and then the 80 acres that the certified site that's owned by the chamber. In Missouri Partnership is the state entity that does basically what we do on a local level, they do on a state level. So they market and they work on attracting business and industry to the state of Missouri. And so you can see that of the 21 project wins that they received, that they got for Missouri, 16 of them were in St. Louis and Kansas City, and the rest of them, 5 were in outstate. And you can see most of them were up north. There was one down in Cape Girardeau. All these projects here, we actually, we were not in the hunt for because they had geographical criteria that we, either they wanted to be in southwest or, southeast or up north, and so we weren't able to fulfill their geographical requirements. I will tell you that we did respond to and worked on this project. TOP was the name of it. It turned out to be GAF in Moberly, a very large project. But again, we were eliminated due to infrastructure. Our site in Moberly, they have a nice 150-acre site that has all infrastructure to it. And that's where they ultimately located. Like I said, the spec building, we built the spec building in 2007. Again, a way to attract business and industry to our community. And this year, we had 4 attraction projects that we proposed, and we had 1 expansion project that we thought was going to be very, very interested. And we proposed leasing that space to them, and ultimately, they ended up deciding on something else. But we did have 1 existing business look at it. Special Olympics, they announced in January. This is a project that was very much a partnership between the city, the county, the Convention and Visitors Bureau, and the Chamber. And very excited about this project. They are going to build this Training for Life campus, which is going to be 44,000 square feet in Jefferson City. And some of the things that I think really kind of pushed them over the edge on selecting Jefferson City versus Columbia were some of the things, partnerships that we put together on their behalf. So the Healthy Athletes program, that is something where when they have all the athletes in Jefferson City, they're going to screen them for certain things. Either it's a foot program or eye program or hearing program, and they're going to go through these screenings. And we put together a Healthy Athlete Task Force that consisted of St. Mary's, CAP Region, JCMG, and that was something that they were very appreciative of. Civic Progress Subcommittee, Greg Bexton here is heading that subcommittee up, and we will be helping them. They do have to raise some funds for this project, and our Civic Progress Subcommittee is going to be helping them get into the doors of some of those businesses to help raise some funds. This could not have happened without the donation of the 15.5 acres by the Farmer Holding Company and Tweehouse Excavating. And we did go to the city council. Randy presented. We had about $300,000 worth of infrastructure needs for the Special Olympics for this site that they unanimously supported. So again, the site, I think everybody's aware where this is, but 179 Highway 54. This is a operating quarry, and I think that's going to provide great visibility and really highlight this facility when it's up and completed. Again, this is a site plan that Special Olympics provides. This is an old site plan based on their Columbia location, but you can see some of the things that they have planned for this site.
I wish you quit showing that. That's in Columbia.
Yeah, it is in Columbia. They still use it just because it's very similar to our site, but yeah, we need to white out some of those roads. Again, it's going to be the largest training campus for individuals with intellectual disabilities in the United States. So for Jefferson City, this is going to be huge. Like I said, 44,000 square feet training, and it's modeled after the U.S. Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs, Colorado. So again, to have this in Jefferson City is going to be, it's a great win for our community.
Missy, are you able to say where this going to be?
Yeah, so the map that I showed, this is 179,
Okay.
and this is Highway 54. That's the operating quarry.
The red is the site.
Okay.
Runge Nature, or Rickman Center is over here in the corner. So yeah, that is it. We do belong to a group that is our regional economic development partnership called Missouri Core. This consists of Cole, Audrain, Boone, Cooper, Callaway, and Cole is a part of. When companies are looking at a location, they don't just randomly select a community. They really start looking at 5 or 6 states. Then they get it down to a region that they're interested in before they really select the community. And so when we are out marketing and talking about our community, we talk about core. So, when we're meeting with consultants, meeting with companies, when we do mission trips, when we do marketing events, we're sitting at the table with consultants, from Kansas City region, the St. Louis region, the Springfield region, and core region. Again, we get more bang for our buck versus just, really marketing Jefferson City, marketing our region as a whole. So the attraction marketing events that we attended as core, we attended 15 all across the U.S. in 2014. The attraction projects, again, this is collectively all of our counties together. We had 16 attraction projects that we worked. We had 35 site visits, and we had 5 new projects locate to our region, one of those being the Special Olympics. for 156 total jobs. So you can see the ones that located. There were 3 in Colombia, 1 in Mexico, and 1 in Jefferson City. The 3 areas that we really focus on in core is the marketing component, the existing component, and then entrepreneurship. So for expansion and retention, Sean's going to talk about this for our specific county, but all the counties together, we identified 30 potential projects, and we ended up with 12 expansion projects that announced in our region for over $108 million worth of investment and 520 jobs. Anytime that you talk to a consultant or a company, workforce development and workforce availability always is number one. And we have lots of things that we do for workforce development, but a couple of things that I just wanted to highlight for you, and we talked about this last year, but our certified work-ready communities. This is a certification program that Cole County is in the middle of going through. And this is when a job seeker is looking for a job, they can go to our career center and take this test that's administered, and it's through ACT. Everybody knows ACT. This is a different component of the ACT that you take when you're a senior in high school, but it has 3 different components. So it's a 3-hour test. You get a certain level of how you do on this test, either a platinum, gold, silver, bronze, and you can take this certification and market yourself to employers. So, for example, you can go to ABB, which they use this as a screening process. If you want to apply at ABB, you have to go take this test so they see where your skills are in this certification. So we are one of the 44 counties that are in progress. We've been working on this now for about a year. We're about half of our goal of where we need to be to become a certified community. And one of the things that we've started doing this year to really get more certifications in our community, we started testing at Jefferson City Public Schools, primarily juniors and seniors, primarily the students that are more towards a track of entering the workforce when they get out of school versus going on to college. And we also started testing at Department of Corrections, and that's really helped with our certification numbers in Cole County. And we're really just kind of kicking that off, and I really see in 2015, hopefully our goals will be met in 2015. Information technology, you hear a lot of companies in Jefferson City talk about workforce issues when it comes to hiring IT type of workforce. So this year we put together an information technology roundtable, which has been hugely successful. We've had 18 businesses that are participating that are all sitting around the table, as well as our educational facilities, entities such as Jefferson City High School, Helias High School, State Technical College, and Lincoln University, all talking about these IT issues and what's going on in that industry. One of the things that, and Sean will talk about this further, when DST decided to close up shop in Jefferson City, we brought that issue to the IT roundtable. We worked on a job fair, and a lot of these businesses ended up hiring the DST employees. Very, very good group. Again, we just kind of got started in 2014, and we already have our meeting set for 2015, and we're going to go gangbusters in 2015. I'm going to turn this over to Sean Sappenfield.
As Randy had indicated earlier, I handle the existing business duties for the chamber, but I also handle small business duties. So the next few slides, we'll go through those 2 topics. Looking back, these are identified expansion projects. So looking back through 2007 through 2014, you can see here that we've had very good activity as far as identified expansion projects. And when we refer to identified, this is projects that along the line have either been announced, maybe are on hold or inactive, or as we refer to them, dead. They just never transpired for whatever reason. So it's a mix of those. So again, you can see the activity has been very good over the 8-year period. And for 2014, you have 11 that were identified, You can see there the investment, just over 24 million, and potential jobs, almost 300 to be created. Okay, same time frame. These are announced projects. So these are projects that companies or existing businesses have moved forward with. As you can see, it's a lot of information, I understand, but as you can see, you have the investment in the purple on the top level, and then you move down to the payroll, the jobs, and the number of projects. So 6 in 2014, we have 6 announcements with the payroll of just over $6 million, 6.3, and I draw your attention to the investment level of 77 million. And that the thing that I like to stress, obviously the jobs, not discounting the jobs are what we're looking for, but the one thing that I like to see is the investment. When these companies are reinvesting in their facilities, so that's retention in my mind. This is a look at where the jobs and the monies, the private investment have come from. So you can see those lists. We're all very familiar with those companies here in our community. And you can see at the bottom again, those investment and job amounts and payroll. I will say that I work a lot, the Chamber works a lot with our local manufacturers, as you know. But you can see here that Huber, you may remember Huber and Associates, their expansion last July that they announced. In Wipro, located out on Lorenzo Drive, Route B, the old Route B. They have also had an expansion in 2014 as well. Company site visits. This is something that since I joined the Chamber in 2007 that I've been doing on an annual basis. It's always ongoing. As you can see, 125 overall visits. These are scheduled, set down meetings. Obviously, first trying to identify any potential expansions, opportunities by these companies. The alternative is just to understand better about the company, what they're doing, what they're looking at, any issues or concerns that they may have, and how the Chamber might facilitate those concerns or issues if there are any. As you can see, again, I work a lot with our manufacturers, but as you can see, running down through the different business sectors, there were a lot of visits outside of our manufacturing sector. Enhanced Enterprise Zone, for those of you that have been on the commission for a little while now, you may remember that the Chamber, on behalf of the city and the county back in 2009, probably started in 2008, made application on behalf of the city and the county to the Missouri Department of Economic Development. We received designation, zone designation in late 2009, and basically what this provides is for companies that are located, that meet certain qualifications, I must add, there is a benefit, a tax credit benefit, and then there is also a real property tax abatement feature that comes along with that program. Alpla's expansion in 2012. You can see here that the total overall based on their investment and their jobs was $124,000 plus. In 2014, based on jobs and investment, they received $10,000 in state tax credits. The Missouri Works program, this came online in late 2013. And Huber & Associates, as I spoke to earlier, their expansion announcement in July, we worked with them on making application for the Missouri Works program. And based on their jobs, this is basically the Missouri Works program. There is not a tax credit feature. Basically what this is based on new jobs created, the company may retain the withholding taxes otherwise paid into the state of Missouri. So you can see the total benefit based on their estimates of $61,000. The Missouri Customized Training Program. This is a training grant program, monies that flow from the state through local community colleges throughout the state to our manufacturers. You can see here that ABB, Alpla, Modine, and Unilever took advantage and have been taking advantage of this program for quite a number of years. Again, this is training dollars for new hires, to train new hires, and also for retraining purposes. This is a look at going back to 2008, same program, Missouri Customized Training Program. These are the dollars that were received for companies within Cole County. This does include ABB just across the river. As you can see, we drastically drop off in 2014. Customized Training Program got caught in the withholdings that happened mid-year last year, and so we went from, in years past, give or take $14 million plus used statewide to just over $3 million statewide in 2014. This concerns me because I believe this program is very beneficial, obviously because it's workforce driven. Those employees can retain their jobs there. That's great. They're trained at their original facility, but those basically training needs, those skills that they've learned, can be shifted to other businesses if they so choose to move. I'm concerned that it'll be 2016's fiscal year, but for 2015, that this $3 million mark is probably what we're going to get. So it's concerning to me. Missy has spoke to this earlier. DST's closure in September of last year. We caught news of this and quickly started working with the company locally. Could not work with the executive director there because of, I'll say, liability issues with the closure. So I worked with another representative that had a good relationship with, and we quickly organized a job fair for these individuals, specific for DST. As Missy also indicated, we took this to our IT roundtable, and everyone obviously was in full support. So we reached out to businesses around our community, and we had 25 IT firms and businesses that have IT shops that attended this job fair. Great attendance by the DST employees. And based on our research, talking directly to the company, some of those individuals, Facebook, they have their own Facebook page, and talking to businesses within our community that have hired, we believe that 70 to 80% of these individuals retain employment either here within the Jefferson City or the expanded area. Rural community outreach. This was a piece of the contract, a new piece of the contract with the county in 2014. Missy and I, and late fall, went out and visited with each of the Board of Aldermen and City Councils of the communities here, provided a presentation of our services, and just took questions, answered any questions that they may have, and provided information on, if they would like any input or assistance from the chamber, we'd be happy to do that, and happy to put them in touch with any other resources that may be applicable. This is a look at just what I do is after those meetings, the next week or two, what I will do is venture back out to those communities and stop in with the local businesses to have a chat. And so this is just a quick look at some of those companies and businesses that I visited. Small business programs, real quickly. Small Business Academy, this has been in place since 2008, partnership with the University of Missouri, the Cole County Extension Office, Chris Thompson, which some of you may know. This is a training program, 11-week training program. It's our outreach, educational outreach to our members and non-members. And as you can see there are the 5 graduates for that program. Very good program. Tuesday topic, again, this is outreach to our small business community. And those are 6. We have these every other month, so 6 last year. Again, educational related, and as you can see, the numbers represent the attendance. So there's still good attendance for these. So this is obviously something that we feel is beneficial for the small businesses. Startup Jefferson City, you may have heard of, hopefully you've heard of. These are outreach efforts in regards to entrepreneurship, business startup. This goes back 4 years. plus now. We have been working with individuals. We have some representatives, with all chamber members that volunteer their time to assist with this. We have 3 in 2014. We had 3 events. And as you can see there, it's to outreach, to provide, to connect with these entrepreneurs, see who they are, find out who they are in our community, and provide applicable resources to them. The Pitch It and Win It is our big event for the year. This is, you come in, it's kind of like the Shark Tank. You come in, pitch your business idea, and we have a panel of judges, and then they're graded at the end of the event. You can see the 3 winners there that all won $2,000 apiece, and I have to say a big thank you to our main sponsor, Rural Missouri Inc., RMI, Ken Lucanati and his group. They sponsored and put the money up, the $6,000. So that's a great program, because what we're trying to do is identify who our entrepreneurs are here in the community and connect with them. I'll turn it back over to you.
Sure. Okay, one of the efforts obviously is community development, and a couple projects that we worked on this last year specifically was we provided quite a bit of assistance to the city during the conference center bidding process. We helped the city develop the RFP in the beginning, and then we worked on the best and final offer between the farmers and the Earharts during that whole process, and provided some assistance on determining who, if any, of those 2 bidders was the lowest and best bidder. Obviously, it didn't turn out that either one of them was successful. There was a lack of funds in the project. But I worked with Diane Gillespie to provide return on investment numbers for the conference center if it would have moved forward. The next project that I want to highlight is our St. Mary's Reuse Project. Last year, as you may remember, the governor proposed in his initial capital budget a $10 million sum of money to purchase the St. Mary's facility and house Lincoln University, part of their programs, as well as State Technical College. So we got on board. The chamber organized a task force of probably, Missy, about 30 people, I think. And we organized that and went to the legislature and convinced them the original $10 million probably wasn't going to fly, but we ended up getting $6 million appropriated by the legislature. It was signed by the governor. Actually, it was not signed by the governor. The funds were vetoed instead of withheld. So there was no prospect that could be resurrected. You can see there on the right-hand side kind of the talking points that we had. But we feel like this was very successful. I don't think anybody believed that we could have gotten any money out of the Republican legislature when the Democratic governor proposed it. So we did.
And I think our team had probably about 20 meetings with representatives and senators one-on-one about this project.
Right. It was a pretty much a 2 or 3 week intensive lobbying effort by the folks, and it just shows that we can really put on a team effort. Community development support. Obviously, the chamber supports and attends the business associations that are in the community. We also, in this last year, as a part of your initiative to get more closely involved in the sports tourism, we added a board member to the chamber board, which is the CVB director, and the chamber board member that was on, which is the non-voting member, was made a voting member. So we're more closely tied with the Convention and Visitors Bureau now. In addition to that, we established a collaboration council, really of these organizations, to meet once a quarter to talk about mutual issues and see if we can combine efforts. In terms of downtown revitalization, we worked pretty hard last year on a couple projects. One was the proposed Community Improvement District, the CID downtown. We worked on it and got a lot of information, and then it sort of went dormant for a while. That project is back on the burners again, and I'm providing assistance to the Downtown Association along with the city's GIS people to see if we can push that forward. And then this is one that I'm particularly proud of, as I know Sam is. Sam was kind of one of the instigators of this during the transformation process, and the idea was that we would show people some of the hidden spaces and secret places in the older parts of the community in Old Town, downtown. And this is, I believe it will be this last year was the 5th or 6th year of doing that. Very, very successful. We believe that it has been a big impetus in getting a lot of the renovation projects completed. Just from the fact of the owners are surprised at how interested people are in it. And then we also show completed projects which show the owners that this can actually be done. So we're proud of this. We're going to do it again this year. I'm not sure about the date. It's in May sometime. We want to make sure.
May 3rd, I think.
Yeah, we're not on top of graduation,
Yeah.
which we were last year. So we need to practice what we preach and coordinate our calendars. Transportation initiatives, the one project that I want to really talk about is the Lafayette Street Enhancement Project. This is one that we talked to the county about, put our heads together with the county commission, and the county commission took it and ran with it. It's a phenomenal project. The city came to the table and also provided funds for this, but we believe that this project will really, really be an important gateway to the community along Highway 63. Obviously, the two, these are concept drawings, but this will be the Lafayette Street overpass, but really the highlight will be at Jackson Street, which you just saw, and Chestnut Street. We really think it's an important project. It will be a gateway, and I think it'll draw people to our community. Lafayette Street Interchange is a huge project. It will be the gateway to the downtown area, as well as Lincoln and other things such as the high school on the south. We update this every year. This is, as we mentioned before, our 21st Century Land Improvements entity that the Chamber has that really operates all of the industrial parks and provides infrastructure for that. The current level of support for that the Chamber has committed through this entity in the past 6 years is just over $4 million. And this is obviously the breakdown of that. Spec building, the Partnership Business Park purchase, the Vanderfelt's Farm purchase, the Partnership Business Park infrastructure project, which the county and the city were very heavily involved in also when FABIC came to that business park. We actually had to do quite a bit of planning on several projects. Obviously, the certified sites, we were able to achieve that through some work in planning, and we had to get clearance from the Corps of Engineers to develop the Vanderfelt's Farm because it had a stream running through it, and that cost the Chamber $84,000 just to mitigate that property. So you can see these are the other projects that the Chamber was involved in, particularly the 179 St. Mary's grant preparation, which led to the intersection and obviously the hospital. I want to update you on the return on investment. We did this in 2013, and we have updated it. What it shows is the amount of money that the city and county receive in sales and property tax through the wages created by new or expansion jobs that we work. The lowest one is the Morris Packaging Project, which was a new project. As you can see, those don't come online until this current year, so that's when we'll start to receive that impact. And then Command Web was a project that was about 5 years ago. And an interesting thing on that project, you can see that money comes from wages as well as property tax on the expansion. Those were abated. The property taxes were abated for a 5-year period. You can see the 5 years is up this last year, and so all of a sudden now we're going to be receiving property tax from that abatement going away. These are the business expansions that Sean mentioned. We take all those wages and apply those in a formula that shows that property assessments increase at the same level as wages, and so does sales tax. And so these are yearly numbers on the impact of those wages over that period of time. Why does it compound? Because the jobs don't go away. So if you add one job the first year and you add a job in the second year, basically you're receiving impact from 2 jobs. And then again, those are the totals. This is just a spreadsheet for us spreadsheet geeks to show the same information. And you can see the bottom row here on the spreadsheet shows that taking the Chamber contract into account the net income to the city and the county over that same period of time. And this is what this shows as well. Bottom one is the chamber contract, which is a net negative to you. Obviously, you're paying that money out, but what you receive in return are these funds.
How are you determining the ROI on that? I mean, so if a job's created in '07, you're taking into account that job is still in there every year after that?
Yeah, we actually go back and verify that those jobs are staying in place. And that does change, Chris.
Right, but I mean, what are the factors? I mean, you know, sales tax is of course a portion of that, and property tax is a small portion. But I mean, you got a formula that you
Yeah.
could share with me for
Yeah,
that?
sure, absolutely. Yeah, we developed that in 2013 with the council of the city and the county during that period of time. And it's very simple. We don't use multipliers, which a lot of entities do. It's basically that wages produce assessed value and sales tax. And you can see over a 10-year period of time that percentage is pretty consistent. We also do this for schools. So the schools basically have a big chunk of the property tax in the county, about close to 70%. And so their actual numbers that they receive are actually higher than the city and the county. Now this is, we assume that it's distributed between all the school districts in the county as a pro rata share of their assessed value. 2015 ED activities. In the last week or so, we surveyed the chamber board, and then at the retreat we had last Tuesday, we discussed the 2060 of the economic development activities that we're involved in to see what priorities the board had. And then, obviously, if you read the paper this morning, we talked to the city council last night about having a joint meeting to discuss those. The last 3 pages are the result of those surveys. The red ones, we surveyed by SurveyMonkey the board before the meeting, and then the blue the blue is the retreat rank. So these are by the rank of importance, 1 through 60. And you can see it changed after the discussion and after a lot of back and forth with the board members at the retreat. The blue is the final vote as to the priority. So you can see we've got 1 through 20, 20 through 40, and then the ones that are not that important, at least in terms of what the board felt. So we want to discuss this further with you all to make sure that the things that we do in 2015 highlight what you want us to be working on. And Mr. Presiding Commissioner, I believe that's it. You have questions?
I'm sure we do.
I'm sure you do.
So I'll go first. What sites are available in Cole County
For industrial development?
for any business looking for to come to Cole County? Because I see on your website, I see it says building sites or whatever sites, but there's nothing there.
There's nothing there?
No. It has incentives and workforce development, but it doesn't list what sites are available for retail, for commercial, for total
Yeah,
development,
If you
or
look under buildings and sites, we should have probably 20 or 30 different buildings and sites that we market. Now, we don't really market retail because that changes so much, and you know, we if somebody contacts us for some retail space, I mean, we will go out there and we will do searches. You know, we'll get on the Realtors, Bowman's, Cobb, all those sites, and we will search for them, and we'll provide that information to them, but we don't proactively, you know, go after retail. So therefore, we don't keep that database up to date on our website.
We send them to the commercial realtors.
I'd rather you send them to the business. That's how Sean and I started. We've got a new bridal shop that's going to open in May. And she started out with Bowman and them, and they were showing her strip malls, and they were showing her Missouri Boulevard and all this, and nothing against those areas too, but she's a good fit for downtown. So, to a certain extent, on something like that, I think if you would send them to the business associations, they might actually get more help.
And on
we
the-
do
Yeah,
that.
and nothing against Bowman and Cobb.
Yeah.
I mean, those are different kinds of businesses, but there's a lot of specialty small business people, and
We did have a situation last year where we were working through a commercial realtor in Kansas City, and they had some type of sport, they never told us the name. They had some type of sporting apparel store that they were representing, and they were very interested in the downtown, looking for 6,000 to 10,000 square feet. And we did send them to Stephanie Bell,
Yeah.
and she ended up sending them some information too.
yeah.
So it just kind of depends on where the
It-
lead comes.
Yeah.
It depends on what they are.
So Chris, are you looking for
I'm just
land bank, like with the spec building and the bowl area she talks about? Is that what you're asking, or just?
Yeah, I'm on your site right now, and I've yet to find it, but I go under ED and I go to sites and buildings. There's nothing there.
Did you do a search?
Whoa,
Well, I mean, I'm trying to navigate their
yeah, click
website.
on that.
You can do property search by buildings or sites.
Yeah, so here, if
Click
you click
on
on
property
buildings,
search.
all of our buildings will come up. You come on sites, all of our sites will come up. And we do send out,
Okay.
yeah, so they'll be all listed,
Okay.
yeah. And we do, periodically, probably once or twice a year, we'll send out, we have a building form, we have a site form, and we'll blast that out to our chamber members, realtors. We'll market anything. We'll, as long as it's 5,000 square feet or above, as far as buildings, and sites 5 acres or more, we market those as well. And so, we're constantly reaching out to our realtors, asking them, we want product. We need to market product. The more product we have, the better opportunities we'll have for projects. So we're constantly trying to find product.
So you guys made a comment that we really aren't actively soliciting retail. I mean, you guys aren't working retail development.
No.
We're very proactive with retail. If they come to us, for example, Menards, when they were looking at locating to Jefferson City, they came to us, they came to our office. We provided them demographic information. Firehouse Subs, that's another one that they came to us. They wanted, a lot of demographic information. But like Randy said, we don't proactively go out and do any shows or, visit with, any type of retailers to come to Jefferson City.
So wasn't that part of our strategic plan to go after retail?
No. We had primarily at the time, Chris, when we did the second study, the Capitol Mall was the highlight of the, really the strategic part of that, is to help Capitol Mall get back up on its feet. And so the committee proposed using some money from the transformation to do the incentive study, which turned out to be exactly what the farmers did out there. They did a study on doing TIFs, doing other incentives, and that's why the project was successful. Not because we talked about it, but highlighted the fact that the mall needed that.
Not something that you touched on, but you've got something that Bob Gilbert did was this big,
Yes.
and so big idea sharing or whatever, but I'm just curious, has anything come out of that? I haven't heard anything, so.
Missy?
You want to talk
Well-
about the riverfront?
Well, we only have one project that has come out so far, out of about 30 projects.
22.
Okay, that were submitted, and that's the Norrin Access Riverfront Riverwalk up at the Norrin Access. Alan Mudd and I are working on that, and he's trying to raise some money to get that accomplished.
But yeah, on our website, we have a tab called Big Idea Sharing. And if anybody has any idea about anything, and you can go on there and look and see what ideas have been submitted. There's some crazy crazy ideas out there, but we run every one of those to ground. And so we have a group called, a committee, our biz group. We get together once a month, first Thursday of the month, and we vet those ideas. And a lot of the ideas do get passed to another entity. Like if it's not part of the chamber's mission, then we will either share that idea with the Downtown Association or share it with Capital Arts. Maybe it's more in their mission than it is the chamber mission. And so yeah, we vet every single one of those ideas that come in.
Jeff, Sam?
I'll just expand on the retail part. I think we need to try to get away from the traditional way of thinking, and I don't see the economic future of Cole County as being manufacturing, so I know you were wanting ideas where we think we should go. Retail may be one of the things. We just, it's reported in the paper, even Coach Straley left Blair Oaks because they don't have a tax structure, so they don't have any retail out there in Blair Oaks school district. So, but part of that's their own problem because they won't embrace growing. They want to be the bedroom community. They like that, but I think we need to focus on some of that. Other innovative ideas, agriculture. We got a rich tradition in agriculture. We have Lincoln University that does a lot of small animal research. Is that something we can try to draw to Cole County? It doesn't have to be manufacturing. So, just some ideas. Had a student from University of Missouri, Missy, you work with CORE, called about doing some kind of campaign for CORE, and she was asking about that. I said, I think they need to work on communication. We don't know a whole lot about CORE. I think we need to look at regionally developing two more now. I think I was kind of had my blinders on that we needed to stay focused on Jefferson City, Cole County, but even regional development is going to help us a lot. We got education around here like crazy, and if it's not in Cole County, it's within 20 or 30 miles. We've got the waterways. We've got 2 laden roads coming in Jefferson City from north, south, east, and west. We've got the state capitol. We can work on tourism, and then I'll go back to the sports again. I think we really need to push that. So, that's about all I got right now.
Jeff, I might just mention that Lana sits on our CORE board as well from Ameren, because they're a stakeholder in CORE. And one of the things that we talked about yesterday was an ED summit towards the end of the year, and getting all the mayors, the county commissioners. I mean, I know you guys do talk to your other county commissioners in those other 4 counties, but bringing all the governor, the elected officials together to talk about regionalism, and we're looking at doing that at the end of the year. It might be a half-a-day summit, just specifically talking about economic development for our region. And we think that that's really important. We did that several years ago, Randy, when Mike Downing was our director of CORE, but it's been many years, so we think it's time to bring that group back together and have those discussions.
Why do you want to wait till the end of the year?
Well, because we have a new executive director at CORE, Director Joel McNutt, and he's been on board now for about 4 months. So we wanted him to get his feet a little bit more wet, give him a year under his belt before, and it's going to take a lot of planning to get that summit off. And so that's really the reason why. But we're all excited to get it going because we think it's really important.
We're looking at sometime next fall.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
so
it'd be
really
good.
it's like 6 months.
I think it'd be good to be involved with them. I mean, we get meetinged out up here, and sometimes you just feel like you're spinning your wheels, but we also aren't involved with it. Then whenever it comes up, we're wondering what they're actually doing. So that, and when you have site visits, I think it'd be good to have the community leaders at those meetings too.
Well, and I should have mentioned that earlier. The 2 site visits that we had this year, Osaka and Aluminum, the presiding commissioner and the mayor We're both involved in those site visits, which is really, really good. You know,
That's
we've
part of the
had-
problem, though, is that doesn't get passed along a lot of times.
That is true.
Probably worse at the city level, because there's, what, a dozen of them than it is for us. There's just 3 of us, we can make a phone call and have it done, so.
And I would love to have all city councilmen and all county commissioners at all of our site visits. But they really, the companies dictate how many people you can have in the room. And usually they say, you know, 1 person from the county, 1 person from the city. And so we are limited on the number of people that we can have in those visits.
It doesn't have to be a site visit. We can take them to lunch and welcome them to the community and say, hey, this is who we are. What do we need?
I'll tell you, one of the best economic developments I have downtown is you take somebody down to Madison's for dinner, and then you walk back up High Street about 7:30 at night, and you've got all the cars and it's still full of people, and I can have people from Wisconsin, whatever, and they go, wow, this is just really amazing, because most downtowns kind of roll up after 5 o'clock, and you know, just doing a little bit of socializing, it's worth a lot, and it doesn't cost that much to do something like that.
In one of those, Osaka, they actually did spend the night in Jefferson City, which that's rare that, you know, your company actually spends the night in your community. But we did have one that spent the night here at the DoubleTree, and they actually, they went to dinner at Hunan because they were looking for Japanese, Chinese, Asian type food. And so, yeah, that's, I think, a really good point. If you can get them here, I tell people all the time, if I can get companies, consultants to our community, it's an easy sell. I can sell them on the transportation just because we don't have an interstate, you know, in front of 54 or 50 or, you know, I in front of one of those numbers. But if I can get them to our community, we're a beautiful community, and it's an easier sell than if they're sitting in New York or Atlanta or Chicago and looking at Jefferson City on a map. But the key is you got to get them to your community.
I think we want to be more a part of the chamber's economic development. I think, you know, there's a rift right now, and you know, we've talked to some of the city councilmen, and we need to meet more often. We need to think outside the box, because we're doing some things. I don't know if we're doing enough. We've had some meetings with Bob Holden, and Bob Holden has some wonderful ideas too. He thinks, you know, more internationally and stuff. I'd love to see the chamber host a meeting with Bob Holden to just talk, because he opens your eyes. He talks about Lincoln. You know, there's very few communities that have a land grant college here. Missouri State Technical College. You know, there's a lot of things that we don't have. He said another thing that these companies are looking for are welders. I had some union people in last week when they were doing a right to work, and they said, we've got a welding school. I don't know if it's in Fulton, but he said, I got 45 welders over there that are about ready to graduate. He said, you want welders? We got welders. I don't know what they need with welders, but it's nice to know we've got welders. And, I think we need to have more meetings more regularly and try to work on economic development. The article in the paper today, you know, Holt Summit's talking the same thing. We're all talking the same thing.
Sure.
We've got to do more.
I agree. I think we need to, I mean, obviously, this is a 3-way partnership between the city and county and chamber, and we've got to, you know, work on ideas. We've had quarterly meetings the last 4 years, and they weren't extremely successful. We didn't have good turnout to those meetings. And so we stopped doing them, and then last year we started doing a monthly meeting with the mayor and the presiding commissioner. So we need to decide how we want to, you know, we've tried it all,
Yeah.
Sam, and I think we need to settle on something that we're going to do and move forward. I totally agree.
I don't have any more questions.
Don't either.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Randy.
Now what we got?
We've had our commission comments, unfinished business.
Using your paper copy.
Yeah. I do want to, I want to pay a big compliment to Greg, though, because I came through town Sunday after the snow. We went to 7 a.m. Mass. And at 8 o'clock, Greg's out here on his John Deere cleaning our sidewalks, just happy as could be. And I talked to him yesterday,
Not
and he...
either of the Gregs here.
Not Greg.
Greg
No.
Camp.
Greg can't. But after he did these, he went over and did the Carnegie Building. He did Cole County Health Department. He did the Pringer Center. He worked all day, and I just want to thank Greg for
I'll get it. Let's see it.
doing all that he does, because I think we kind of take it for granted when we come to work on Monday. Our sidewalks are clear. So. New business. Accounts payable.
I'd ask for approval of accounts payable.
Yep.
Jeff does have an invoice in there.
Oh, Jeff's got an invoice in it?
I'll catch up with you.
Did you look through them? Did you look through them?
No.
So I move we approve Jeff's. You got to second
I will
that.
second
I
that.
might not get my reimbursement.
All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
Okay.
And then I'd like to, I move we approve accounts payable pending my review, or commission review.
Okay.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Did you have some pulled out, or you just haven't?
I just hadn't had a chance to look at it.
That's all. I saw them on your desk yet, so.
So there
Okay.
wasn't that many, but, so.
Signing of agreement with Central Missouri Foster Care and Adoption.
Okay, this is just the signing of the agreement for the $5,000.
And that's been approved.
Yes,
That's been budgeted.
it's been budgeted and they signed it, so that's their contract back. And then,
Yeah, I know, you're not gonna make a motion. We got a few of them on here.
Yeah.
Let's go
What
ahead.
time is it? 10:10? Okay. We can get into dirt some other time about it. I'll make a motion to sign the agreement with CMFCA.
Second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
It's 1-1.
I eyed it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't hear you.
I eyed it. God.
I'll do these others here real quick. I mean, it won't take
Signing
long.
of agreement with Antilear CMS Art Inside the Park.
So moved.
Second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Nay. Signing of agreement with asbestos removal services.
that
We-
is pushed till next
We
week.
Okay.
postponed that.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, all right.
Okay.
Yep.
Discussion of the garage door at the Law Enforcement Center.
I mean, I just put this on there because I know we had a incident there, and I just wanted to make sure that we were doing something different so that this didn't occur again.
Well,
And
did a mistake occur? The answer to that is yes.
Yeah.
Was there a mitigation factor to it? Yes. The person driving the Peacekeeper waited longer than they should have to go through. They probably should have stopped and rekeyed the door. Other side of it is we have electric eyes that once your wheels break it, it prevents the garage door from coming down, which they failed to work. The electric eyes, when it was broken, and one, I watched the whole thing on video repeatedly. I watched it in slow motion. I watched it in regular speed. And the deputy messed up. And as a personnel issue, if you want to discuss that, probably we can do closed session.
No.
Well,
I mean,
and we do remediate issues.
I mean, accidents happen and things happen, and I get that. I just don't like them to repeat themselves.
Yeah, neither do we.
And so, anyway, but you have the ability to call up to the control room and hold that door open too, don't you? Or
We, we don't do that. What we do is we rekey the door. That's what
Right.
you have a fob for.
that
but-
requires somebody to get out of the vehicle and do
No,
that, right?
it means you reach out and you hit it's set up, so when you leave, you pull up, you stop, you hit it, the door goes up. And honestly, if you're right behind the person, there's plenty of time for a second vehicle. We also had, we requested you all installed the electric eyes that if something happens and you get stuck in the doorway, as long as that electric eye was broken, that door's not supposed to come down. The door should not have come down, but it did.
Right.
I'm not saying there wasn't a deputy screw-up, though, and we're taking care of that.
Well, I guess my thing I mean, I understand your system. I mean, you got multiple vehicles going out. I mean, I was just thinking that maybe there was a manual way to open the door and keep it open, and
But
then,
there is.
so.
Yeah, you try to not, anything else, the control room, the master control and satellite control are about as burdened as they need to be on a general basis. And right now, they're having to open manually the incoming door for people to exit. So, and that'll continue, but it's just one more thing.
Okay. That's all I had. I don't want to replace another door or a section of a door.
Yeah, me
in the
either.
near
Didn't want to
future,
replace the
so-
first one.
I realize that, so.
So did we have a malfunction of the electric eye?
The
Is that-
electric
I
eye
mean-
did not function.
Okay.
The door, it still, nevertheless, based on the time, and we've had the discussion, well, I haven't yet, but it'll get to me as it proceeds up the chain, it'll get to me. And the discussion is simple. Unless you're right on the bumper, you stop, you let it go down, you rekey, and it goes up. Again, the other side of it, the fail-safe, is if that electric eye is broken, it should stop, and it did not.
It didn't.
And that's visible on the video as well.
I thought Greg Camp had said that you had the ability to open that door from the control room
You do.
and to hold
you
it
do.
open and then to close it.
But again, that's not the practice, nor should it be the practice, because the way it was built from the beginning is that the individual keys the door with their fob. It's got one of the touch pads.
I understand.
And that's what should have happened. That's not what occurred. It did for the first vehicle going out. And again, it's part of it is the more you put on the people in control room on a moment-by-moment basis, the less effective they are at watching what they're supposed to do.
Is this supposed to catch? I mean, if my truck's tall enough, if I'm driving through or I have to stop it at some point, my door's still gonna come down.
It's set up, no matter what, when your wheels hit that eye, it's gonna hit your front
Yeah.
wheels. And it should have re-triggered it for a reset, and it did not.
Okay. That's what I was wondering is can we have it set down low
There,
and up high? I know its code is supposed to be at, what, 18, 14, whatever.
whatever it is, it's not
Can
very
we
far
put one
up.
higher? That way if it is hitting the actual body of
Could.
the truck, that might trigger it. Just, I don't know. It's just one of the things that happen.
It's-
I've run a
it's-
four-wheeler
it's-
through the top of my garage. Things happen.
It's one of the things.
You forget you have them on back of your truck sometimes.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't drinking.
Say that again?
Your truck slows down, you're like, what is that ungodly noise? You're going, oh, no.
Well, the nice thing about it is there was no damage to the peacekeeper.
Okay.
Go ahead, it's time for a shot.
No? Well, I'm not gonna take that one, Greg.
Sam's gonna take that one. You said time for a shot.
Oh.
I won't say
I like,
anything about
is that a motion?
The
We-
bar is open. Thanks, Greg.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you, and I think the Prime Minister's still speaking.
Oh, goody.
Okay, we're gonna go into closed session. We'll take a break for just a few minutes.
What, do we have anything else? Mike, do you guys have anything? Just your.
Well, he's
okay.
closed session, yeah.
Okay.
All right, I'll make a motion, we'll go closed session pursuant to, let's see, personnel issues, section 610.021, subsection 3.
I think we're supposed to take a
And-
roll call.
And
on-
negotiation of contracts.
I think we're supposed to take a roll call to go into closed
Yes.
session.
I don't think we have to do the contract, well, we can't want to, but the contract thing they canceled, but,
Oh, did they? Okay.
so.
Sam,
Aye.
Jeff,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
While you're shutting things down, I'm gonna
Get some coffee.
stretch.